Well, I suppose this is the video before Christmas Eve, and I gotta post this thing, so I just want to get this done, get it out there. The music that you're listening to is Bing Crosby singing. I can't even see what the hell the damn shit is. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a Bing Crosby tune. Adeste Fidelis. Come on, you faithful. My grandmother, my mother, and my we'd listen to this thing like crazy. Every time Christmas came up, these two albums of Bing Crosby and White Christmas. Not to mention Harry Corral, Harry Simeon Corral, doing a little drummer boy. This one we kept listening to every year. Currently, it's still the 23rd, coming up on midnight in a couple hours, West Coast time. It's 9:45. We've got about 2 hours and some odd minutes left, and then it'll be Christmas Eve, day before the main event. After that, a week later, we get to hear the whole neighborhood get shot up because of fireworks. And then we're off to the races regarding 2024. We didn't think about the New Year's during those days. We didn't think about any of the kind of stuff we're dealing with these days. We were so grateful that we still had a roof over the head, we still had food over there, we still had our grandmother and Aunt May still alive. We'd be going over to Grandma's house in Bell when she was still living there years ago, before she moved in with me and Dave and Ma. Aunt May just lost her husband, God bless him, God rest his soul, Uncle Al. And it was just crazy. I mean, I was a young kid and I didn't think it was crazy. It was just, didn't think anything. I didn't know what crazy was. Now we were trying to be grateful of the holiday season. That was the thing of it that back then. We really didn't. We really didn't understand what all the chaos and confusion we've got these days were. We didn't have it. Back in the 60s, they were still dealing with the Vietnam War. Uh, I don't know anything else that they were dealing with during those days. Because I was way too young to figure it out. All I know is I got sliced and diced and then popped out 3 times, back in the body 3 times. So yeah, it changes the perspective on a kid. But then again, when he starts seeing a big ass Christmas tree with all the decorations on it, all bulbs of silver, gold, blue teardrop monsters, and specials, Ma she kept pushing me away from the tree sometimes, or just kept telling me to get away from it. She didn't want anything to fall off of it, especially when we actually had dogs around the area, and tails and body mass will do something to a tree, especially if the decorations are at a certain level that they can actually get to and knock the thing over. Not the tree, just the decorations. And I have to find where the damn hooks are. Those are hurting like crazy sometimes. Ouch. On the skin on the foot. I'm barefooted. Not fun. We'd find them. What was even worse is if the glass things broke. That was even worse. Shag, it's a murder trying to get up there. You had to get a vacuum cleaner immediately to clean the damn thing up. Otherwise, you're going to have pieces of decoration in your foot. For the most part, we kept trying to keep them in good condition. There was always a way to decorate the tree, you know. I didn't find that about until about early in my teens when I got big enough and Mom thought I was adult enough for me to work the tree. She kept pointing at different areas that needed to be filled out left and right. There's always an angel to be put on the tree. We didn't put a star on. Grandma had the special angel she had for decades. You know what I hate the most sometimes? throughout the years is losing stuff that was precious at one time. To other people, it's just things, but for those who actually dealt with the knickknacks all that time, it was precious. Precious in memory now, but the physical, yeah, it was still needed. It was still precious. Handiwork, craftsmanship, it's not that. It was the love that was put into it, keeping it cherished in our hearts and memories and things. Just traditions do matter. Traditions do matter, especially during the holiday season. Dealing with it right now as it is, you know, just trying to get through it. Hadn't been the easiest. Kept up the decorations here for about a couple of years already, just gathering dust. But sometimes get it dusted off if I can. But I just want them in an area where I can enjoy them throughout the year and not freak out as much. I wanted something to remind me of some of the things that actually mattered the most in my life. Listening to music. I mean, that was just Bing Crosby. That was just one song. I didn't even put on the White Christmas thing yet. During the Christmas time, going over to the church and listening to the hymns. I kept singing sharp, flat, and neutral. Dave was singing a hell of a lot better than I was. So he was definitely a deep basser in those days. I mean, he had been tenored and dropped down to an alto real fast. Now almost down to a bass. Got older. I'd be sitting in the living room sometimes, listening to this. I'd be right next to a Christmas tree, just listening to this thing. It's on Christmas Eve, and none of the presents were there yet. But we were listening to the music. Grandma would have a Christmas tree at her house, artificial one. Our family would have the big ass white one we got. And we had that thing for a few decades, about 4 decades, I think, until we got rid of it. It got so old, grade, but we used it all the time. I mean, there have been a few times we actually did the natural stuff, but I didn't like the natural stuff. I liked the artificial white tree, even though it was turning gray. I mean, it used to be shining white and then turned gray in most of the coloring of it. You get those papers on those metal twigs. The bendable metal twigs. On a few of them, we actually did get broken off all throughout the years because we kept bending and twisting them up the night in order to support this heavy thing or that heavy thing or something on it. But for the most part, it was intact. The insects dreamed to live in for almost a year until we get it out and shake the thing out, and everyone else got scattered about. And then come the fun part. But we would be listening to a Bing Crosby White Christmas album. We'd be listening to Harry singing. Some days it got me sick to my stomach on the damn thing because I didn't want to listen to it anymore. I got older. And they became lost in time. I saved the music digitally. Download the stuff. We had the DVDs, or actually the CDs to them. Downloaded them to the computer so I could have a computer file of them. So I'd be able to listen to it whenever I get the mood for it. This season it hasn't been that much of a mood to listen to. But it should have been. But I hadn't been. I just couldn't get myself going. Hasn't been easy dealing with the holiday season like this. And not just the world politics or the local stuff happening. It's dealing with the thoughts and memories. The older I get, the worse it gets. Of those I've already lost behind, I grieve like crazy. And then knowing that eventually I'm going to be seeing them, and it still scares the hell out of me because of the transition. It really wasn't much fun as a 4-year-old. I'm going to get to it as an adult. Good Lord. I think I'm setting myself for a neurotic breakdown or something. But it should have more memories than that. It should have more feelings and more thoughts about it because sometimes the decorations I put up on a Christmas tree actually do play an important part. And I have to remember that these things matter. They matter a great deal. Ma kept drilling into my head of how much care and thought has to be put into a decoration and where it's placed at. It's not the position of it, it's trying to fill the holes first. I mean, if you had the balls we had from Woolworths a long time ago, we would have the smaller balls that would go on the top or around the ring of it. The medium-sized balls would be almost in the medium portions. The larger portions would be in the larger areas of the tree. And then the blue, gold, and silver. No, mostly the blue teardrops we had, and those would have been hanging. Then there were a few other specialties that we had gotten throughout the years. Candy canes come in handy because you get about 2 boxes of them for 7 to 8 foot white, artificial, 40 years old, 40 years old, or even to the smaller trees. They come in handy. They fill in the holes. And Ma was always looking for things to fill up in those holes. The holes would be the empty spaces that just show the branches and nothing in it. There had to be things surrounding the Christmas tree. It had to be complete. It has to be full. It couldn't have been sparse because it just looked lousy to Ma. She always kept harping on me about that while looking for the holes. When you're doing a Christmas tree, she always harped on me on this one. You got to keep looking for the holes because it doesn't look right. She trained me so well that I even had to look at the artificial trees that I got into smaller ones constantly at this point over here. What do I need to fill it with? Another light, or do I need to fill it with tinsel? Do I need to fill it with more candy canes on the thing? It got to the point where I almost became neurotic about it. Looked at the Christmas tree as, it's not your tree, it's my tree. It's not your tree, it's my tree. I'd gotten obsessed over the damn thing during the Christmas days as I got older in life. It had to be something decorated. I had to decorate it because that was my job. Maud made sure this was my job, so I had to follow through. I salvaged what decorations I could. They weren't the greatest, but they were still personal. Some of them came from Grandma and Aunt May. A few of them Dave and I got, along with Ma. I look back at the old pictures that I took of the Christmas tree when Dave and I were over at the trailer home, and then prior to that, it was over at the well places we got into when we got into Antelope Valley. I don't think I took pictures of the Christmas tree because I didn't. We didn't think of it at the time. We should have. I mean, if we had taken videotape of it, or at least taken Polaroids, it would have been something. Give me 1 second. I'm going to check on my dog real fast. Yes, I got a dog. When you're a dog owner and she happens to be the only thing that you got left in life, you do everything that you can to take care of her. And I've been trying. I've been trying. As a kid, I probably missed those days and feeling like it actually meant something. Actually, you had family, you had people around you, you felt the love, you didn't feel the insults half the time, and you didn't deal with any neighbors driving you nuts. You actually lived in areas neighbors actually wished each other a Merry Christmas or a Happy Holidays, but mostly it was Merry Christmas. I remember sometimes waiting around, just waiting for Santa to come. And other times I'd be sleeping through the whole thing. I'd wake up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and then go to the tree, and there it is, full of stuff around there. And I was like, yeah, kid's delightful face just seeing this stuff and knowing Santa was there. Yeah, not until I got older and I discovered other things. It wasn't just a physical entity delivering the presents. It was the living spirit. Takes a physical form one way or another and decides to spread the Christmas cheer around. And more often as I got older, from the younger kid to the older schlub like I am, there are certain movies out there that you had to watch on a constant basis every year. Ma had to watch The Bishop's Wife. I couldn't deal with it. I don't know what was with Cary Grant I couldn't deal with. I know there was another film I saw Cary Grant in. Yeah, he was suave, he was debonair. I couldn't get I didn't get it about him. Except a few films I did see, and one comedy thing I did see, and I laughed my head off until I got older, and I'm like, okay, well, it's a nice amusement. And then you see Tony Curtis, and suave and debonair in there. Wow, that was a hell of a comedy series, I'll tell you that much. But dealing with a Christmas situation regarding the bishop's wife and dealing with an angel like that, I'm like, oh boy. An angel falling in love with a human woman? Oh boy. Isn't there somewhere that you're not supposed to do that, pal? It's no wonder David Niven's character had a conniption fit during those days. And of course, went to, what was it, Fred Gwynn? Uh, Alistair Sims and his maniacal character. Hang on a second. Okay. Miracle on 34th Street. The old version of it. Maureen O'Hara, young Maureen O'Hara. Sean Payne, Natalie Wood. Okay. Yeah, a younger version of Maureen O'Hara. Edmund Gwen. I was remembering that last name. I just couldn't figure out the first name was. Ed Gwynn. He made you believe he was Santa Claus. That he was St. Nicholas. Or just Nicholas. Of course, he called him Chris Crinkle. Chris Crinkle. Okay. I'd seen the cartoons come on Channel 7, Channel 4, and Channel 2. I'd seen them with the food commercials on it. The zingers coming out there for their peanuts all the damn time. Of course, you had the claymations out there. You also had the other cartoons on there. Some of them musicals. Baskin Raskin. Bass and Raskin. Those were big in my Christmas things listening to. Till I got a little older and I'm watching some of the heavier adult themes. Scrooge, the musical, Albert Finney kept putting it on there. All Ma's movies concerning about the sound of music. Sound of music. Ma was so enthralled with this one. That wasn't even, it was just a perennial for her. Dave had to watch the Scrooge. He had to. I wasn't quite hip on Frosty or on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I wasn't exactly happy on that one. I was just not. The Peanuts, okay, I got into a little bit on that one. The Grinch, ooh. Oh yeah, if you wanted to see something about the Grinch, concerning about the meanness of a heart who didn't understand about what Christmas was all about, that was the guy you watched. I mean, Scrooge was all right. I mean, you see the Albert Sims, you see this uglier version of it, and then the lighter version was Albert Finney trying to make a lighthearted damn thing out of it. But it was always the music that Ma and Grandma would pull out, and it was always Bing Crosby, and it was always Harry Simeon Corral. Those tunes would haunt me, even to the time when Dave and I were involved in our church, in our adult years. For about a year and a half, we were singing with the church choir. And during the Christmas performances, some of the stuff on the album was being performed even in a Christmas pageant we actually had. Of course, we actually had to have the music in front of us so we understand what we were talking about and singing. And we would sing it. Sharp, flat, and neutral. Drive the music director crazy all the damn time. It was always something when you're expecting the season in the kitchen, and then you're feeling the anxiety level, and then you're feeling the excitement. It's going to be Christmas. It's going to be stuff under the tree. It's going to be stuff like that. No, no, it's just the season itself, I guess. You're spending it with family, and that should have been more mattered more instead of the junk under the tree. But when you're a kid, you thought about more of the junk that you were getting, and you kept pleading for all throughout the years. And maybe if you actually did take the opportunity of writing to old Santa concerning about the situation. I mean, if I was going to be sending a letter over to Santa right now, I'd say, Santa, I need a twin mattress, please. One that's not about to kill me in my back, please. I'll live with the damn bugs at this point over here. But I just need to get a mattress I can sleep on. It isn't killing me every single morning. And maybe I could wake up and feel like I'm actually a worthwhile human being. If I was going to get physical about it. But everything else, the holiday season I've got right now, I kept thinking more and more about how I miss family a great deal and how it still affects me even worse. When Dave and I lost Ma, we struggled like crazy for the first. When was it? She passed. Yeah, she passed in February. Well, after that particular Christmas, the last one, and as I kept trying to show on different pictures on different video channels, what that top portion was of Ma and my dog. Little girl was hers at one time. This was the last Christmas, and she was stuck in bed. She didn't have a tree, so let her borrow mine for this season. What the hell? It was decorated enough, and also had a Christmas hat. And she was smiling on that one, and I got a picture on it too. Some of the videos I've been doing, or actually had done, they caught those images. And I just couldn't deal with it after that. I really couldn't. I suppose I could repost them all over again. I suppose I could tomorrow. Got to do some editing in the comments, do the copyright stuff on it because of the music being played on the thing. And it was still hard as hell to deal with that. But, I'm still going to have to deal with it on a Christmas. On Christmas Eve at this point over here. My present to the world. And it was hard as hell for me to do that, too. that year, Dave and I actually moved to the trailer homes out in Lancaster, actually in Roseman. We decorated. I mean, I looked at the pictures and I forgot how much I missed and lost when we actually lost that stuff. Well, after we left the trailer home, there was a lot of stuff we left. And yeah, it hurts because I was hoping to maybe use some of that stuff to decorate the rest of the place here, but despite the fact bugs. But I managed with what I've got, and I wanted to do it that way too. Just try to see if I can just get something going. Teddy bears with Christmas hats on them, angels in different forms. And the thing of it is, I missed the decorations of it. The actual choosing of the items and placing them with care. And just doing it. Feeling it's a part of me because the holiday season is just not exactly looking at the stuff on a constant basis. It's making changes somehow. Trying to say this matters most, that matters. This has to be changed a little bit. I needed to get into a creative process regarding how to deal with the Christmas situation. Because to me, it's important. It's important to me to feel like this holiday means a damn thing. It doesn't matter about the physical presents, even though I do like having a gift box or something wrapped up pretty with a bow on it. But it was the traditions, the memories of those traditions, and trying to keep those things up. Of the actual decorations, the actual work. Something that would remind me that I used to do a long time ago. Took pride in and got chided for it not looking right the way Ma wanted it looked. I kept thinking to myself when I first started this thing, why don't you do the damn thing yourself? You're going to be gripey about this damn thing. Oh man, I wanted to be griping but I couldn't do it. I wouldn't give myself the opportunity to doing that to Ma. On a Christmas? Are you kidding me? It's like a death sentence. Should give you the old evil eye and give you the silent treatment. And boy, you ruined something. It's just as bad as ruining a birthday or even Mother's Day. And that was the thing you didn't do. I mean, she valued her birthday. She valued Mother's Day. She sure as hell valued Christmas. You didn't. You did not. There was one time, my brother and I, we got the tree decorated on Christmas Eve. We never lived it down. We kept promising, and she got more upset with us. We got upset because she got upset with us. We didn't think it was a big deal until it happened. Oh my God, how do you ruin a person's Christmas that hard and that fast and long lasting that you never got rid of the stigma? It's like the rhyme of the ancient mariner. The old sailor and his crew go out and sail, and they have an albatross, and they think it's good luck, and then by some stupidity, the captain shoots the damn bird. The crew says, "Ah, well, good luck," and then they get bad luck. Oh my God, what did you do that for in the first place? And their oil breaks loose. To the end, where the guy never got rid of his albatross hanging around his neck, even though it probably said so. The memories and stigma and the shame of it all still hangs around his neck. It still hangs around my neck. Because hell, I was one of those that actually had the damn thing hanging around my neck because I screwed up Mama's Christmas one time. I never lived it down. It was never lived it down anyway. But it's almost like forgetting Mama's Day, Mother's Day. You don't forget that one. And Dave and I had taken years on that one. What was going on with my mama? Hang on. I hear her whining again.